Hello.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. SpeakuP Monday. Let me push live on this camera. Yes, we're live. Checking connection. So, everybody, welcome to SpeakuP Monday, number 71. Tonight, we're going to have a fantastic conversation with a brother, Olumide. Yes.
Hello. Mic check. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, brother.
All right,
I can hear you.
awesome.
So, look, for those of you who are wondering what this is, every Monday, 7 p.m. here at Tropical Nomad, thanks to Itchy and Bella, who are kind of manning the decks, technically speaking, which is wonderful. So thank you. Round of applause for Itchy and Bella. Yeah, we're feeling it. That's right. And studio audience, you can come and watch us live, guys. All right, so come watch us live, 7 p.m., Tropical Nomad. Come around like 6:45, as opposed to the 7 o'clock or 7:05 that people do here in Bali. That's okay. We love you anyway. So now, so how does it work? It works like this. There's a Q&A. And how this platform came about, and there's a few people here actually who used to come when we had it initially at Life in Bali, which was in Tomorrow Gallery. And it's an inspirational platform via Q&A to get to the depth and the heart of what makes somebody tick. Knowing and understanding that people inspire people, right? Knowing and understanding that people inspire people. And this is what we love. So we have different guests from different walks of life. Some are famous, no famous. Please come grab a seat, honey. There's seats over here if you want. And it's great because, you know, there's a few common denominators which come out, which I think are just beautiful things that make us human, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is that if you are feeling the love and feel like, hey, I would love to do a SpeakuP Monday, feel free to reach out to me via social media, private message, whichever way it goes, and just say, Rob, I'd love to do a SpeakuP, and we can organize it for you, and I'll be in touch with you, and it's a great thing, okay? So keep that one in mind. Now, tonight we have Olumide, who is, you know, the thing which I love about Bali is it creates some incredible energies, and we have some amazing people here. And it's wonderful because through things like this, we get to know one another a little bit more. So Olumide I saw a while ago, and I've always wondered, that brother's cool.
I always saw you too. I was like, "Who is this? He trying to be taller than me." I'm like, I'm supposed to be the tall brother out here. What are you doing, Rob?" And then I was like, "Okay, he's a cool guy." I was checking him out, and I just saw how reputable, how cool you were, and how much you care about community.
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's my guy." So as soon as you let me know this was an opportunity for me, I was like, "Let's do it." So thank you. If I don't say it, thank you for the opportunity and allowing me to be and share the stage with you.
So, but my brother, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And look, so Olumide is a remote work leader. And for those of you who don't know, and we'll get a little bit deeper into it. There's a seat over here, honey, whenever you're ready. So we'll get a little bit deeper into it. And let's see where this one goes. Nothing here is rehearsed, guys. It's just we go where the energy takes us. So, my brother,
Yes,
so I get the sense from you, which I love, right, that you have a really big mission in life, right? So can you just share with us, take as long as you like, what is that mission?
Just jump right into it, Robert, won't you? I mean, for me, I think my mission and my goal is to help people feel like they have a home. And we, jumping into it with my background is I grew up as a kid, born in Nigeria when I was about 6 years old, and we immigrated to the UK. So I could do an English accent too. My friends tell me my accent's terrible now, but I could still talk. I was like 6 to 13, innit? I was like 6 to 13 years old. I had an accent like this. I came and I became American. It's a different story. We'll talk about that too. I'm sure we'll delve into that American side. But I found it difficult growing up living as an immigrant kid, moving from Nigeria to England, and then I did my accent, Nigeria to England, and then I went to America and had to be American, and I realized that it was hard for me to find an identity and a home. So as I became an adult and in business and in relationships, I started to realize that knowing that people care about you and having a community that you find to be home can be anywhere in the world if you're accepted. It doesn't matter what you look like, where you're from, etc. If you're welcome when you arrive, it can be a very different experience rather than being the outcast, which I felt I was for most of my adolescent and even young 20s, because I didn't know my identity yet. So helping people find a community and a home in everything that I do is the only thing I care about. Knowing that you're loved, you're cared about, that you have someone you could talk to about anything, even when it comes to the business side, to know that you can trust people is a big thing that is always an emphasis in everything I do. So, wow, great question, but that's how I feel.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, man. And look, so with the Nigerian families, I know that they tend to get big, right? So are you part of a big one as well?
Well, I have 2 siblings. So my parents didn't bang out like 12 kids. My grandmother, though, on the other hand, God rest her soul, she had a lot of kids. I have a lot of uncles and aunties in England, coincidentally. Yeah. Shout out to South London. Shout out to Streatham, Brixton, Bricktown. So I have a lot of cousins in England, actually, which is funny. Another different story. But I have a lot of cousins and a lot of uncles because my grandmother had a lot of kids, and traditionally, yeah, that's it. But my parents were like, let's just stop at a few. Yeah.
Got it. And so what was life like growing up for you? Like, what were some fond memories growing up at home?
Growing up at home, not a lot of fond memories, actually, if we're going to be real. Like, I didn't go and play with my friends. My parents were really strict Pentecostal Christian Nigerian parents that wouldn't let me leave the house. So the way that I grew up was a lot of time alone. And then we'll talk about that if we develop into that. And I think my joy and happiness was probably at school, with probably playing sports. I was a track athlete in college, so anytime I got to go hang out with friends at track club, that was when I had my time outside of that home. So for me, it was like leaving the home when I was becoming an adult was when I actually finally got to make friends. So that's the root of the community. Like, I didn't have a place like I felt loved or happy or whatever, and when I grew into an adult is when I finally felt that. So yeah, sorry not to be a downer, but that's just real. Like, I don't remember amazing memories as a kid. It wasn't that way for me at all. I didn't have little Tonka toys and all this. We were an immigrant family, not escaping anything, but living and moving to a new country based on what my father and religion and faith wanted my dad to do. So I don't have any negative thoughts about it now. I think when I was younger I did, but now I understand that you're put in certain places for a reason, and it's formed me into who I am today, being able to just blend and speak different languages and connect with different people from around the world. So it turned out good. That's the good news.
Yeah. I love it, right? I love that, because as people here know who watch the show, like what this is all about. And by the way, guys, can we grab a high stool for my girl at the back? I think we've got some more stools, or some guys. If you grab a few more stools from here, so they can sit down. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Thanks, brother. What I love about this is that, each week we explore this thing about, 0 to 7 theta brainwave state. I'm a sponge. I don't decide anything, right? It's the caregivers, what they give to me. And that's how I either become by following along that same line or revolting against that line, right? And it seems to be that they're the two ways, either in line with how I grew up or the opposite, or trying to get part, and that's what inspires and motivates us to become who we do, right? So just interestingly enough, just seeing and hearing, because again, like I said, I love this guy, but I don't know him, man. Right? No,
same for you.
Same, right?
Sometimes you meet people, you trust them because they have such a good heart, or you can feel something. I feel the same way about you, man. Seriously.
Thank you, brother.
He didn't pay me to say that.
And like the beautiful thing about it is that, like, I already feel a kindred connection, because as most of us know, we have this feeling when we get along with people and we feel them, and then one day we get to understand perhaps why, if we have a conversation that is no bullshit, that is deep, that is just straight up. And that's why I respect about your answer, by the way. Thank you, because this is what it's really about. It's not about all the good stuff and everything's honey. No, it's about saying, like, what's true for you and what's real for you when this question comes up, and just speak it from there, which is what you're doing. So then what I can kind of already see is that, this, being comfortable to be by yourself, and we spoke earlier on, I hope you don't mind me bringing it up, about that you take your time connecting with people, right? You don't just jump in, because here in Bali, there's a lot of transience going on. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but there's a lot of transience going on. And there are some people escaping something, some people running away from something, some people finding something. So then for you, as you mentioned before, like, you don't jump in too fast, right? You just feel it first, right? And like, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I think for me, it's probably on that background. It's when you show up on the playground as a kid. I always reference that because it always forms who we are, right? Our childhood and adolescent experience, being the outsider in 14 schools, you kind of figure out, like, I might get beat up if I go to the wrong group. Like when I remember when I landed in England, and this is how diverse. The amazing thing about England, it's very diverse. We can talk about the American thing later, but the England side was when I arrived, I kind of stood there at the playground the first time, and I was like, who do I go with? I saw the group that had all of the other kids, or the diverse kids, the Pakistani, the Jamaican, the Nigerian, the Ghanaian, and I was like, okay, that's where I need to go, which is coincidentally what this community and what the world is and my experiences are right now. So I think the reason that I am the way I am now, a little bit with apprehension, is when I got to America, it was a little bit different because there was not as much diversity, and I'm connecting things now, hopefully to help things make sense. There was not as much diversity in certain cities in the way you grow up, and grew up in Columbus, Ohio, where the first time we arrived, it was the end of 8th grade, and I was the only. Oh well, no. The first school I went to, it was a very urban school. There's probably like 3 white kids at our school. So for me, I was still seen as a foreigner when I came in because I had a British accent. Black boy with a British accent in it. What's up? You're doing all right, mate. You're doing all right. They're like, you ain't from here, man. You ain't from. I was like, no, I'm from here, man. I'm from here. Like, nah, we don't understand you, bro. Where you from? You gotta identify yourself. Like, no, man, I'm from here. I'm from East Side, man. East Side. They're like, bro, that's not you. You better. So I had to learn, and that's another thing with this answer is I was not myself in those times. And my true self is I need to meet somebody and get to know them before I move in even a relationship or a friendship, because I want to know it's somebody I can trust. Because I've had times in my adolescence where you can't trust people when things happen. You get your heart broken, or you get bullied, or you just don't trust other people. So I think that would be my answer is just from past experience, but also knowing the value of growing a true connection in a relationship, to know that like we're gonna be friends, or like whenever you start to develop things a little bit more, the person really has your back. It's more about protecting yourself, but also the quality in the relationship can go so much further if you take the time to get to know people. Business, friendship, romantically, I think it's something that can be said for everybody.
Thank you, brother. Yeah. And just what popped in my head, which funnily enough, I'm laughing about it because you're the first person I've been able to ask this to, and you'll understand as soon as I ask the question, you'll go like, oh yeah, right, that question, right? So, did you ever suffer from racism growing up, and how did you respond to it? Because again, I'll preface that real quick. Yeah, good. So I was the only black kid at school for the first 13, 14 years, and I saw myself as being Caucasian, not black. And then when I went and studied again, I failed some exams, I was part of the 99% black. Right, and I was like, culture shock. A bit like the English guy going to Columbus, Ohio. I was like this black kid on the outside, who's white on the inside, going like, what the fuck? Where am I here? What's going on? So it kind of, and there's a certain approach that I've got to racism, which but that's not.
Wait, so your question is, have I ever experienced? Say the question again specifically.
So it's 2 parts. Mm-hmm. So one is that have you ever experienced racism, and the second part is what do you do about it?
Okay, good. I'm pretty black, so if you guys haven't watched the news, it can kind of happen. It's kind of the way the world is structured, unfortunately. So I've experienced racism. I think for me, there's I can answer the second question. The first one is, there was always something with the person I experienced racism that had something to do with more internalized anger or feeling that it was something going on with them. So I think I was always conscious, even since I was a kid. When you merge and you live you land in England, and you're like, okay, this is cool. Then you land in America, you start seeing how people are people wherever you go. If you're racist, it doesn't matter what you look like. If you're a particular race, if you're white, Caucasian, you're racist. You could be racist in America, you could be racist in England. But I found one thing was that the people that I've always interacted with were always angry, and there was an internal issue that I don't know why I knew it. There was always an internal issue within that person. I knew it wasn't my fault that somebody called me the N-word. I knew it wasn't my fault that somebody was bullying me, pushing up on me, or saying certain things, demeaned like sort of aggressively. So I think being a black person, I always say, oh, I've been black in 3 countries, or on all the continents. Like I always try to use like, I've been black on. If I ever talk about race, I'm like, I've been black on every continent, so I can give you guys a perspective of what it truly is like. But the truth is, there's so many situations that I can talk about where it's underlining. That's the biggest thing that I noticed that I experienced. I've never been physically abused because of the color of my skin. But I know that in the schools that I went to, I know that in the neighborhoods I grew up with, I was treated differently because of the color of my skin. You know, I mean, the first time in America that it happened, well, it was two. Let me give you two from high school, because we got, sometimes black people, we got lists. What's the worst one? So let me give you the medium ones, kind of ones that like made my heart go, oh man, that hurt. Okay, I remember one time I was in I think it was 10th grade. This white kid came up to me during track practice, was like, hey man, well, because I'm from Nigeria too, obviously that's where the world starts in Africa, but that's a different story. So he's like, you're from Africa, right? Let me do American. You're from Africa, right, man? So does that mean you have HIV, AIDS, bro? I was like, so it's kind of like, and that you're a kid and someone is saying that to you, what this kind of means, and the way it hits you, you're just like, no, and then you just leave, I think another one. Let me just be real too. Bali. About maybe like the first 3 months when I arrived in Bali, I was actually we're actually right here. What's the name of the skating place right here? Pretty Poison. I was at Pretty Poison. I think it was a Thursday afternoon or late Thursday evening, going into like the when you get to Bali and you go party for like 3 months. Yeah, that was it. And I was there. I was like, okay, this is cool. This is dope. I got my drink. Okay. And this guy, dreadhead white guy, right over a few meters away from it, came up to me and sort of put his arm around me aggressively. He was like, what? And because there was a song that was playing that was using the N-word, whatever. That's another story we can talk about. Like, yeah, that was like, what's up, my N? And he was just kind of like putting his arm, like, this was bro, he's not doing that to you. You too tall. You will rock him. But I'm a peaceful man, all right? I learned a lot. I used to be an angry kid because my experiences growing up. But this guy aggressively puts his arm and kind of tries to push my head down, say, what's up, my N? Ha, ha, ha. And I was like, you always get in these situations where you're like, what should I do? And for me, that's another thing where I felt like the way he was trying to say, we know culture and we know rap and hip hop, and I was like, he was trying it, but he was also drunk and he was also very like slobbering and I didn't have a good experience with this guy, right? And when it happened, it also made me think like, damn, I'm in Bali. Like I thought it was over. I left America. The world, I've seen the rest of the world. It's a little bit better. People are less, like this shouldn't happen in a beautiful place like this. And it reminded me that, again, the root is in the person. What should you do about it? In my experience, the fact that it's due to the person having an internal battle, internal issue, or some sort of upbringing has turned them into this monster, in my opinion, because it doesn't make sense. We're human beings. What you can do about it is to try to educate the people in your circle and surround yourself with good people, so that there's a less likelihood that this happens. And it's a network effect. If we all start treating each other, and I got one more example, which is actually very important. We all start treating each other right, and also being aware of these underlining things. Some people are cool with their white friends saying the N-word. Like, are you seeing these millennial Zs or Gen Zs? Like, they don't care. Like, Gen Z black kids are saying the N-word with their white friends. Whatever. They're a different generation. But for me, the way that we've been grown up, the experiences that we've had, that psychologically influenced our lives since we were like 7 years old, I know that it's not something that I can change, or like I can cure racism myself. But I know that if my white friends and the people that surround me are good people that don't stand for something that makes somebody feel less than human, no matter what it is, same as calling a woman the B word. I mean, there's two different things, but regardless, same as oppressing someone. If someone in your circle, someone in your life feels some way subservient or subhuman based on the way you're treating them, it shouldn't happen. And you all need it. And all white people, we gonna listen. I remember when the thing started happening in America. I was calling, I'm like, white friends, we got to talk, because I feel like there's something that happens where it has to be something that's constant and in the memory and in the minds, so that it's something that, because you've never had to deal with it if you're white, or if you're not somebody that is of color, you never had to ever deal with it or think about, oh man, this is me. I'm 14 years old. I'm walking home in Columbus, Ohio, still a British boy with an accent. But if I walk towards a police officer, there's a chance with the guys that I'm in, these guys might actually have something, and we all go into jail. We all going to get abused, right? Because of the conditioning and the environment that I'm in. you never really have to think about that. I mean, we had some hood white guys that were like rolling with us, but in general, this is something that people don't have to deal with. So sorry for the long-winded answer, but I think that's sort of my answer. And then the example I was going to give is, even with that example that happened to Pretty Poison, even in the Bali community or something in one of our WhatsApp groups, I don't know if you ever found out about it, and was where sort of a racist or racial thing was said, and it just reminded me again about, it's not, if one person spoils it and one person in these different communities is spoiling it, we're all screwed. Like, you cannot let one person or one thing or one incident like that make an effect. Yeah, that's it. There's something, like, I keep thinking of other stuff, but the general premise is, you know, like they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's like the hate is in the heart of the beholder, is what I think. And we all have to take a better chance of a better time to work on it together. We got to do this together. White people, black people, Johnny's people, everywhere you're from. We gotta do this together. That's another thing I want to make sure I say, that this thing is going to go away again in the next maybe 6 weeks, where we're not talking about it. There's no more people necessarily being shown on the nightly news being killed. They might say, this show is not playing enough. We need to talk more about COVID. But you got to remember that in your personal lives, you do have a responsibility as a human being to make sure all the human beings in your circle are well taken care of. The community is able to protect everybody so that we all never have to feel subservient or put in the lower level. That's it.
Thank you, my brother. And you know, like, this is what I love about this whole thing, right? So you and I mirror each other so much, it's not funny. And what I love about that, right, is that, you see, you and I, right, and you can have that water there. I haven't touched it. That's for you, brother. You and I, and lots of other people watching this, who are all affected by this, are what I call ambassadors, right, or light workers, for want of a better term. And it's like, you see, my answer to that question that I asked you, just popping in, is it's just about ignorance, which is what you're saying exactly, right?
Yeah.
So it's funny because racism, for me, I know that it's there, but I haven't experienced racism for about 20 years or more. And the reason why is because in my mind, I know what it is. It's ignorance. So once I know what it is, then it's like, yeah. So then I don't bite, right? And because I don't bite, it stops showing up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Let me comment on that, because that's what happened. That's why I felt like I'd arrived at, like, psychologically, spiritually, I was in a place where it didn't affect me to the degree that, I'm telling you, do not go to Detroit and call a black guy the N-word, or some parts of South Central LA. They going to jail because you did. Like, but there's the point that I got to when my experiences and the things that I've been through told me that, again, it was in the eye of the heart of the person. And when I stood there and this guy physically and verbally abused me, I literally came out of it, was like, okay, my friend's over there, let's just go talk and get another drink. And later on, I think in retrospect, like, how did you even do that? Because the first instinct should be anger, should be hurt this person, should be negative. And somehow I found my way to say, despite all my bad experiences and despite this current situation, do something different, because, again, you don't ignore it. You acknowledge, you know it's there. But what did you say?
Ignorance.
Your ignorance. But how did you fix it, or like how do you deal with it when it comes to you?
Exactly the same way you did. So this state of brainwave state, 7 to 8 years of age, up to that time. So I had a really physical impact on me as a fight that I was in, and this guy got beaten up badly, and I felt guilty because it was racistly driven, but I felt guilty because I wasn't able to account for myself the way that I thought that I should. I thought I was a hard kid, thought I could look after myself, and that's not what happened. So I was embarrassed, and I felt as though, that I should have done more. And I felt like belittled, and I felt not enough, right? But a few days later, so at the age of 12, we started this thing called the 100 Years War. The 100 Years War took place in Middle East, this particular 100 Years War. And there's a kid in the back of the classroom, he puts his hand up and says, "Miss, 100 Years War, it can't be the same people fighting, can it?" This went over my head, right? But what I realized years later, after that fight happened, actually, it was like it came to visit me a couple of times, trying to teach me. Life for me is trying to move us to 2.0 version of ourselves. That's what life is about, trying to make us the better part of ourselves. So in that second incident, I realized a day later what it was all about. And I realized, fuck, I've got the chance now to either, because the 100 Years' War is exacerbated because the parents pass on to their kids, hate this guy because of the color of his skin, or the way they speak, or the religion they follow, or the fact that they're a woman, or whatever it might be. And that's all it is. It's passed on stuff that at the age of 0 to 7, you've got nothing to defend yourself against. You adopt it, and that's how you grow up unless something happens. So once I realized that, I knew I had two choices. I could be part of the problem or part of the solution. And 2 days later, after the regret and the anger and the I want revenge happened, I came to that place of equanimity and focused and like, fuck, that's what I'm here to do.
Yeah.
I'm here to actually bridge the gap between the two because I understand both, right? 14 years, only black kid at school, and the white thought I was white. I felt all the Caucasian values, and then going back realizing.
Sorry, when I first arrived in America, because it was obviously the school predominantly black, and my parents, Nigerian parents, like, we have to take you to the best school district in the nation. What's the closest one? They had a British accent. I did. We live in London so long, and Nigerian, British, whatever. And they're like, oh, we found one, and I ended up going to a school that was now, quote, the best school in the district or the area. God bless my parents if you're watching. It's like they took me to a place where they thought I would be safer, I'd be better. And funny enough, that's how I felt when I got to the white school. I was like, whoa, they don't have any metal detectors in this school. Oh, this is hot. Wait, hold on. There's nobody's trying to beat me up every day or bullying me. Like, it's not the same as the other place. Now there's other things that happen, but I was kind of happy in the white school, but that's the problem, because to flash back to the previous school, I always want to do psychology and take you into the parts of the minds. In the black school, when I was answering questions and I was turning in my homework and I was getting good grades, the black kids asked me, yo, England, why are you trying to act white? Because intelligence in this community was perceived as white. When I got to the white school, because I didn't play football, American football, yo, why don't you play football, man? Bro, because I'm black, now I got to play football. So these identities that are brought onto you by these in culture to sort of control, and because of the influence of how it sort of puts people down into a box, is something I had to battle with. And that's what happened when I got to the white school. I was like, they were like, hey, welcome, great school, but you got to play football for us. If you're not playing basketball, we're not going to like you. So it's like psychologically, you know, it was like, and one year I played because my cousin came in from Lesotho, from South Africa. He came and joined me in the school. I had to show him around. That was cool. And he was like, oh, let's go out for the football team. We played football. And actually, it's so funny that things change around too. Like, one of the popular girls was like, yeah, let's walk to Classic. And I'm like, I'm a virgin. I don't know what that means. I'm just chilling. Like, what's going on here? And it's like the frame of mind is different in the environment. The environment in which you grow up or even you live is so key and makes so much impact and influence.
Beautiful. Thank you, my brother.
No
Thank
worries.
you. And like, so like I said, we don't script any of this. I had no idea I was going to be having this conversation with you. It just comes in and I speak it. And obviously it's resonating. That's great. So like, you know, what I love about all of this, right, is that like the fundamental essence of you is like this, global, right? It's global, absolutely, right? And you see that people are people, right? And as you know, for those who watch this, people inspire people. And that's got nothing to do with color, race, religion, sex, or anything, because people inspire people. And again, what I love about your background is that it gives me the breadcrumbs that I can now see as to why, right? Maybe in my own mind, but as to why you've been so impactful, right? In your life to date, and why when you do stuff, Globoversity, the Globopreneur, right, the sport, we'll get to that, like it's all encompassing, it's all inclusive. Like your good mate over here, Ollie, Ollie over there, call him out, buddy. Call him out.
Legend in the building.
You know? An amazing guy, right? He's going to be on the show soon as well.
Oh, I can't wait.
But what I love is, and I can already see without even checking you out, I can see who your friends are, and I can see from that what's present, right? Same as me. Like all my friends are all colors of the rainbow. And what I love about what's happening now in the world is that we're beginning to see that anything that divides us, right? Anything that divides us, I'm going to say it now, is not cool.
Yeah.
Right? And anything that unites us is cool. Right?
Absolutely.
And we've both grown up in division, but seen that unity is actually the answer. And that's what I'm feeling, which is the powerful part of being an ambassador or a light, right? Where the things that we do has got nothing to do with anything apart from who you are as a person, right? And I guess a really important message about SpeakuP Monday is about that, right? It's about realizing that, you know, that we're all the same. We make different choices that give us a different outcome, absolutely, but we're all the same. We have unique stories that identify us and give us this beauty, this uniqueness, which is great. Yeah. But we also have this thing within us that unites us, that connects us all, right? And that's what I love to see. And each week, no matter who's sitting in this chair or this chair or that chair or this chair, like it keeps coming through in a really, I believe, in a really powerful way. And that's part of the intention behind all of this. So thank you for being part of that, my brother. Respect.
I really appreciate you, man.
Oh, man. So respect. So now, what comes in? So a few things. Remember, if you've got any questions, right, in about 15 minutes or so, we can entertain them. But if you ask a question, give us time to basically repeat the question so the guys who are watching here, there, and there have a chance to hear what the question is. And then Olumide can then answer, love that name, can then answer the question, right? So just keep that in mind if anything pops up for you. Okay, so now let's skip forward. So then, like, what you've done is huge, man, and it's the, you know, like.
Thank you. I mean, I don't think so, but
no,
but
I do, and lots of people here do as well. But like, you know, what was the driving force behind the activities you're doing now? One of them, obviously, is the build for digital nomads here in Bali. Another one is the Globoversity, right? Another one is the Globopreneur, what you're doing, right? But what I see is just this power and this drive, right, to basically enhance and uplift a community of people. Yeah, right? Absolutely. So please let us know, or tell us, for those who don't know, what things you're up to and what's the driving force behind them.
So the primary thing when I got to Bali, I mean, I run a PR marketing agency, but the primary thing when I got to Bali was trying to connect with leaders like yourself and people who are in the community, creating safe spaces, but creating opportunities for people to grow. For me, it was more like business before when I first arrived, like, yeah, how can you like make more money online? But it turned into how can you grow as a person, like personal growth and learning, you know, like your background and how it is that you came to be who you are. Because I think a lot of people, you may be watching, if you don't know who you are, this might be the day to start. But we're motivated by so many things. And again, going back to the root of who I am, growing up, everything was done. And like literally till I was age 24 or 25, like right before I finished grad school, everything I did was for my parents, for religion, to fit in as a Nigerian kid. Like everything I did was parents and religion, everything, which is great. It's a good thing. But I realized that if I was ever going to step into my manhood and who I really am, I had to figure out what my passions are and what I really want to do, what kind of impact I wanted to make. And that's where community came in, to where the background of me living in these different cultures made me feel like, how come there's no thing that we can all identify and we can sort of connect with based on this lifestyle? So I saw different, you know, there's other communities, there's other people doing things out there. I have much respect for them. Matter of fact, I want to say collaborate with us. But when it came to Digital Nomad Summit, which I started, well, it was supposed to be this year in Bali, didn't happen physically, but we did it in June. And the goal around that was this community in Bali and around Southeast Asia, specifically in Bali, how can we get together the leaders and the people who can be the guides for everybody else? Because I think the main thought was there's always different communities and things going on, but I want to be the one, not out of selfish, maybe a little bit out of, let's be real, maybe a little bit out of selfish ambition, is to create the one that everybody comes to that can help them improve their lives, whether it's personal finances or business or relationships or feeling like they belong. So that is the root, as we talked about earlier. But when it came to Digital Nomad Summit, the goal was to create and curate a community like this, but thousands of us on a regular basis in Bali. And now what that's evolved into is Globoversity, which is basically an online platform or online community for digital nomads and online entrepreneurs, where you can do this. And Robert's going to be on there, and everybody who's a leader and everybody here has a chance to be able to share their value and share their heart with people on a regular basis. So Robert, that's an extension to you now, is what if we could do this online every day with people in Portugal, people in Mexico, on a premium platform that allows people to come in and network and also learn from each other on a regular basis. So it turned out to be something where I wanted it to be physical, and COVID happened, and with what you're doing now is brilliant, being able to move it online so that we can support each other to learn, to grow financially, yes, because we need that, but to grow as human beings and provide support emotionally and psychologically as well, because this lifestyle is, when you first start by yourself, is lonely. When I got to Bali, that's one of the main reasons I started it too, just to reference that, is I was depressed for the first 2 months I was in Bali because I didn't really have a community or friends. And I also found my outlet in going out and partying and going to Pretty Poison to get called the N-word. Sure, that's how it started. It wasn't good. But I realized, though, once I start to root myself and connect with people, I felt at home. And that's what I want. I want to create and curate a home for digital nomads and online entrepreneurs, so that we have a space to where if you land in Croatia, ladies, the safe space to go, or gentlemen, where to go to meet a Robert or to meet a Olumide, to meet everybody that would make you feel instantly at home. I believe that's possible, to instantly arrive somewhere, go to a spot like this, and know your people are there. And that's what we want to create with Globoversity moving forward in any brand that I do.
Cool,
Yeah.
brother.
Thank you, bro.
And I'm going to put a shout out to it now. So the Digital Nomad Bill, right? Can you just explain
Let
a
me
little
talk
bit about that? Yeah.
Well, first of all, Wayu, if you watch it, Terima kasih banyak. My buddy Wayu is a legend to me. That's another thing I feel like I also had an understanding of when I've met and communicated and connected in so many cultures. I know the stars and the people that are meant to be the guides. Some of us are meant to be followers and meant to just support. Some of us are just meant to be like, go, we're going to follow you. And when I saw this guy, I met this guy here. He's an Indonesian guy. His name's Wayu. I knew that he was going to do something special. And then a few months ago, he posted on Facebook, hey, we're working on the Digital Nomad Visa. I was like, first of all, he's Indonesian. Why does he care about us? Digital Nomad Visa, bro, all you have to do is just do your community. And I saw the strong sort of drive with him as well. Like you said, how we see each other. I saw him, and I reached out and said, first of all, I was like, why did you call me? First of all, but first we had a call and realized that we had a real chance to create a digital nomad visa for Indonesia, not just Bali, because Bali is only one place, guys. Just so we know, if you're watching this anywhere around the world, I mean, come to Bali, but don't come to. There's other islands, but there's a lot of us here. Like we don't want them to. Okay, so we realized that right now is a very key time because of COVID, and if we push the agenda, we'll have a chance to basically be able to set something up. If not now, when it's over, because Indonesia understands the value of longer term tourism, they call it, but longer term sort of remote work. And then you look at the general trend of remote work. We said, how do we make this work? Why you said we've already started to draft up a formal proposal that we're going to send to the president. I was like, that's right, the president. That's right. I was like, we're not playing little games here. And I was like, yeah, this is what I expect from him. A formal proposal to the president through the secretariat in Jakarta, which is one of the traditional ways that if you want to talk to the president, you literally write a 10-pager, you put your references, you put the source. And what we did, thankfully to everybody, and some of you may have filled it out, is we collected a form, basically a survey that surveyed our population on, it was 106, whatever, 100 and something people, on how much we spend, because let's just be real too, it's about money, it's about economic impact. How much do we spend on average as digital nomads? How long do we spend in Bali and in Southeast Asia? How often do we go in and out? How old are we? What countries are we from? Germany, USA, Australia, France, and what am I missing? United Kingdom. Those are the main countries obviously here, if you have any idea. And we put that, so we backed it with us. It wasn't just a one-sided thing with Wayu. It was the Indonesian local and the people that understand the trends in technology. The young Indonesian is saying, we must do something today. We cannot wait. And me, I was like, and Robin and everybody in the community said, let's give them the data they need and let's create a bridge to be able to actually have a digital nomad visa. I can't tell you guys what it would look like in the future. All I know is we're pushing it forward to a place where we have the legal ability to say that we're working from our laptops, because we know we're in a gray zone, as you all know, right? And I can share now, with a few people watching that last week we got a call from the Secretariat, and they actually read and have acknowledged that they've received our proposal. I'm not saying we're going to meet the president. We might meet the president. We might meet the president. But let's go. Everybody's coming. We're taking the whole troop. But no, we literally heard back. We got a call. They're like, but now we're in sort of a lull. What we found out is that because of the way things work here, things are slower. And we knew that it might take time. So what we're doing is we're putting pressure with the media. We're going to get as many articles out as we can. We're going to use platforms like this to get the word out. And we need your support. You know, connect with Robert and myself online. And we're going to have opportunities where we may have to do another survey. We may have to interview key leaders. And I really believe 2021 is done. We're trying to see if once we get that call and while you gets the call, can we do some sort of bubble visa? Like, I'm truly, the way I was raised and the way that I've lived, I feel like we can do it by the end of this year. Like, give us a bubble, bring all my friends, bring all our friends back, and let us sort of revamp the visa or revamp the economy, because we love Bali, right, guys? Like, that's why we're here. We love Bali so much, and we're spending, and we want to stay here, and we want to do it right. And I just feel as though the government is on their own thing. I'm not a politics person, just let you know. But I know that people are smart and they'll make the right decision. And because we have media on our side, and that's primarily what I do, I know that I'm going to push so hard for this. It's going to be ridiculous. And we just need your support. Just if I could say that once, is we need the support. Whenever stay on what Robert is posting, what we're posting, and how we collaborate, because everybody here, I'm so appreciative, by the way, that you take the time out of your evening to, like, I thought it was just me and Robert looking at Instagram like, hey guys, but look at this. Like, this shows this is true community, and I know we're gonna get this done together. It's not about me. I don't even care. Like, when they said the president stuff, I was like, you guys just go to Jakarta, just get it done. Like, I don't care. I just want our community to have a better sort of stance in Indonesia and around the world, because things are happening, you know. So that's it.
Round of applause, please, guys. Round of applause. We're not finished, but round of applause. I'm feeling all inspired. How about you guys? I want to jump off the palm tree. But we're Tropical Nomad. By the way, Itchy, Bella, thank you so much. I'm not going to jump off the palm tree. I don't want to put your insurance. My brother Scotsman Paul, great. Thanks for coming. Great to see you. So now look, so SpeakuP Monday is all about getting under the hood, right? So we're going to go back. So just want you, whatever comes into your mind first, right? What is one of the toughest experiences of your life, and how do you deal with it? Toughest experiences in your life, and how do you deal with it?
That's I can't think of anything graphic or crazy or said something about on your phone. Let me check your phone. You're gonna make me cry on TV on here. And it's personal. It's not this bullying or racist. Like, it was my relationship growing up with my father. It dug in deep to me that I didn't feel that my father loved me, and now I know that he was showing it in different ways. But I'll tell you, like, literally, like, since I was born, till I was about 25 or 26, my father never told me I love you, you know? So it was a thing where I felt as though I yearned for so long for love from my family, but primarily my father. And because I wanted that attention and love, I also conditioned myself to be like the perfect pastor's kid, the Christian boy, and to be, you know, great at school, and to get 2 master's degrees. And I just got tired of it. And I realized that if someone doesn't love you for who you are, then there's nothing you can really do. And I just was in a dark place, not like depression or suicide, like no hate on, like, shout out to like that topic. But I was close to having that psychology of just being in such a dark place for such a long time, and not being who I was, not truly knowing who I was, because everything I was doing was for one person. And it was a dark sort of, like, literally, I lived in a basement, and I spent a lot of time in the basement and going to school, and then back in the basement, and just being angry at this man for so long. And you know, one day, you know, I became more of an adult and understood the world and how it works, and I realized that it wasn't his fault. This is an immigrant dude trying to just make it. He don't have time to give you hugs and show up to your games like all the other white kids in your school, because they're trying to hustle to make sure you get food. So you reassess those things. But for me, that was the hardest thing. I just remember, like, that's another reason why my brother, like, when you asked the question, it's such a big deal. Like, why am I the way I am too, is because for so long when I was not in track practice, I was alone. I think there's some sort of like social disorder, because I didn't know how to react to connecting with people till I was 26 years old. That's crazy. Now I'm the guy on social media. I'm like, yeah, TikTok. I'm a TikTok influencer in Indonesia. What's up? And I'm telling you, 5 years ago, I was the opposite. I was afraid to connect with people. I didn't know how to make friends. I didn't know how to be loved. I didn't let anybody in. I was just a hardworking, collegiate person. And I'm glad now, like, things have changed, that I'm no longer that way, and I've come out of that. And I told my dad, I love my dad. I love my dad. I love you, Dad, if you're watching, because there's something about that where you don't, just like when it comes to racism or things in your head, you are the steward of your own mind. And if I kept hating this man for the rest of my life, it would have killed any other chance I had for a good relationship with my future family or my own future kids or something like that, because I've been so bitter. So if you guys are struggling with not having the love of a loved one, maybe they don't know how to love you, maybe they don't know how to deal with you right, it's not your fault. Once I figured that out, I started to move forward better. And I know it doesn't have to be your father, it could be anybody. So I'd really encourage you guys on that side to dig deep into knowing that you can't control people's actions and the way that they care for you. You can only try your best to love you and come to loving yourself, so that you can have a beautiful life, you know. And after after I came out of that, like, my life changed, man. Like I've been so happy. Like, it's so easy to relate to people, and you know, takes time to develop because of that root, but I still have the heart to connect and make true, loving, positive, healthy relationships with anybody I meet. Whereas it was never like that before.
Thank you, brother.
Ooh. Thank you, guys.
Ooh.
I'm real. That's wow. What you get. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
love
you.
it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love
yeah,
it.
Man.
And like for those people, you know, who may be in that position. Mm-hmm. So like, was it a particular episode that began to put you into that state, or was it little wins or little things along the way that eventually shifted you into that mindset?
I think it wasn't a particular moment or just one time like aha. It was just gradually, maybe as you get older, you understand yourself a little bit more. Or I have to thank all the people, like friends and people in love. I can't say that my mom might be watching, but people I met in my life that I came across that taught me how to love. That taught me, like, love is expressed by how you care for somebody, not necessarily like with you doing something, not because you want something back. So that was the biggest lesson that as I learned with people I met and friends, I started to grow to realize, like, you get older, you get more wise, you get into these different relationships or friendship, and you're like, wow, like, it's really about how I treat them, not how they treat me, which is so weird. It's like, how does that translate? It's just something that it gradually grew on me, like, hey, because your dad didn't love you doesn't mean you have to act a certain way and show love in a certain way. You can show love in the way that you know how. That's a hard one, you know. I'm just doing my best to answer it. It was just gradual. It was just getting to, you know, experience love from other people in other ways to know, like, okay, like, this is actually what it means. It's not the broken sort of vision that you have from your past.
Thank you. And then if I asked you, do you love yourself? What would you say?
Yeah, I love me, but it's in a good way, in a healthy
way.
Woo! I love me. No, it's dude.
That's him.
That's it. It's yes, man. Like, you have to, like, if you don't wake up, like, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not trying, but I used to be there's three ways that I can look at that. If you asked me that 5 years ago, it would have been no, man. I'm dirt, right? If you asked me that 3 years ago, before I came into more of who I am, it would be like, yeah, look at me, I'm freaking handsome. Like, look, all the girls love me. You want to go home? That's the other love that I had. Today, I would say yes, because I found out what my real passions are. I'm not motivated by anything external anymore. I could be on the street walking in, which actually we didn't get there, but 2.5 years ago I was in Germany. Was geht mein Mann? I speak a little bit German because I spent like 6 weeks in Germany. And that was like my broke online entrepreneur days, and that's when I started to love myself because I didn't care whatever was happening. Like if I'm broke, if I'm this person, like I started to realize that it was just up to me to love myself. And then now that's the answer to now is like, yes, because it's not about all this other stuff. It's like, I'm happy because the life that I'm able to create myself that doesn't have all those blocks from scars and bad memories and challenges, you know?
So I think it's so powerful. And, you know, for me, I believe that that's the key to everything, you know, because most of the time I've been hard on myself, right? For years, like growing up as a kid, you know, like Caucasian values, right? Nose is not Caucasian, lips, hair, like the whole thing. And I'll tear myself apart, you know, and I'll spend lots of time at home, right? People didn't know because at school I was a sportsman on a pedestal, extrovert, at home, introvert, right?
Yeah.
Got you right?
Like a flip for me, yeah.
You got it. I know. I get you already, brother. And so during those moments, I was down. I was like pulling this part, depression or feeling down, right? I wasn't clinically, you know, you have this, right? I wasn't diagnosed, thank you, but I was down, and I did contemplate ending it a few times, but I don't think seriously. But in those moments, it felt serious. But here's the thing, you know, like there was a little voice that one day just began to appear. And it was like, the first time I heard it was like, just look after your skin. I was like, look after your skin? What does that mean? Look after your skin. But it was a voice that came from a place of love, which I later realized was love. It wasn't pulling me down. It wasn't telling me I'm this, I'm that, I'm not worthy enough for it. It was literally a voice coming from compassion, actually. You know, and that was like the first time I began to feel something else. And then over the years, I began to lean into that a little bit more and different experiences, right? Of people loving you. For me, it was I grew up in 2 children's homes, 6 months of age of 18 years of age, those who don't know. And the members of staff were our surrogate parents. But it wasn't them necessarily who were showing us the love. It was these 2 cleaners, right? Doris and Betty, who were there for like, I was there for 16 years in one home, so they're there for like 12, 13 years. And I got more love from them than I did from anyone else, is what I felt, right? And so this thing about me getting over how I looked and then getting love back from them.
You handsome, but just so you know, you handsome.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. But I was like that, right? And little bit by little bit by little bit, little experiences coming in. And then what I began to realize then was that, like, you know, have some of this, my brother. What was that, you know, like, to the extent that you love yourself is to the extent that you love other people, really. Because, you know, absolutely. Like, when I can accept myself for all the things that I don't necessarily like, call them flaws or whatever it is then I can have compassion for other people. Right? So the more I dig deep within myself, the more I can see me in everyone. I can see the indecisive me. I can see the decisive me. I can see the extrovert me. I can see the introvert me. I can see the me that wants to hide away. And just on those days of just, I see the me who doesn't want to be with my kids. I see the me who doesn't want to be with my partner. I see the me who does want my kids. I see the me who doesn't want to be with my. I see all of this within me. And over the years, I've begun to explore that a little bit more. Then I've begun to get more love back without looking for that. It wasn't I give this to get that. It was just I accept this. So then I'm able then to accept more and more. And more and more. And to me, the heart of community is to the extent to which you can be vulnerable with other people, is to the extent that you can build strong bridges. Bridges which have got depth and have got profundity and have got substance and have got foundations, right? So Ollie, one of the guys around here, what I love about him is his brutal honesty, right? All the time. Brother Paul over there, man, you should be over here. That's another guy who I love. I know, but don't worry, they can't see you. That's another guy I love, right? And I don't see him very often, but man, I love the guy, right? He's just got this thing, and I see me in him. And it's like when you see you in other people, then for me, then you're really getting somewhere, you know. And that's what I mean about the unity aspect, actually. You know, that's how it's beginning to come around for me. You know what I mean? And I think it's just a really special thing. And I hear that in your story. And as I said, I see so many parallels with you and mirrors that it's cracking me up.
That's so cool.
I'm like, God damn, that one as well. Yep, had that one too. You know, yep,
that's so great.
Working on that one too.
Yep.
You know, I love
That's
it, brother.
good.
Thank you so much for being you, my man. Like, really, for real. Thank you,
man. Thank you, everybody.
and thank you, everybody, as well. Whew. Now, questions. Has everyone got any questions? Yes.
Columbus, Ohio, no racism? What?
Oh,
Come on.
no. That's because
I
was
lived in the
primary...
U.S. for 13 years.
Yeah.
Columbus, Ohio?
No,
Come
wait,
on.
what? Were you here the whole time?
That's the most whitest place in the whole of America.
No, that's...
Oh, come
you didn't listen
on.
to the story. I said that when I got there, the school was primarily black. It was in the east side of Columbus, Ohio. It's hard to be racist when all the kids are black in your school. It's more they bully you because you're a black boy with a British accent.
British accent,
Yeah,
mate. No, I mean,
but trust me, after in high school, you want to go through stories but whatever. After in high school, where it wasn't sort of as uniform, and I was one of the only black kids. Of course, there was lots of incidences that I experienced that, and even in general society, like in the mall, walking around and things like that. So, but good question. Yeah, America's a beast. Somebody asked me some questions about America, so let me say something that I think is very important.
Do it.
If you have a particular feeling or a question, and I know there's some Americans in the crowd, but I'm just going to tell the truth. Let's just be real. If you have questions or thoughts or things that you're uncomfortable, today's the day. I'm up. Robert's here. He's English, British, but we want to talk about this stuff because it's as limited as our reach is. I want to hear some of these kind of racist questions that you guys probably have, but it's okay because we're talking about it. We've agreed to talk about it. And we need to have real conversations because even if it's 20 of us here, we can impact 10, 15, 20 exponentially people in our circles. I actually believe in that. Like if you start with this group and then you talk to your family and friends, it can actually make a difference. So I'd say open up to that. There's no off limits questions. Like let's be real here. Like everybody's always these things in the back of their head. I don't play those. Like I'm here and Robert's here and we're here to just, like you said, get vulnerable and get real. And thank you, man. Like you're yourself. That's why I know I love this guy too. Because like white guys in America wouldn't be like, yeah, racism in Columbus, Ohio. Like you must be Australian or something. Because that shit. Because you don't care. You just tell it how it is. I love that. Where? Scott. Ah, yes, Scots. The Scots. I love the Scots actually. Straight up, they tell the truth too on their chest. All right. Anyway, sorry to interrupt the Q&A.
No, this is all part of it, man. There's no plan. So look, so when you said about America, so there's two questions that come up for me. One was the sport, right? So which sport did you achieve, and what drove that? Is the first question.
Yeah, I like track and field. I was a sprinter and a jumper, long jumper and high jumper. And the only reason I liked it was because in 8th grade I demolished everybody at my school at it, and I was like, finally, there's something that I can have my identity in. So my identity became in sports. That's why. Because I was like, if I can do this and people like me because of this, and maybe a couple more people at lunch will talk to me or look in my direction, that's what I'll do. So that's a straight answer. That's the easy one. It's just an identity thing.
Good. And so then you went on after that to look after other athletes as well, right? Which
absolutely.
So how did that whole thing?
So from there, actually, yeah. So I was a collegiate athlete at Ohio University. I ran 400 meters and whatever. I did that. But what happened was when I got to my graduate school in San Diego, I was still sort of semi-pro. I was trying to make it to the Olympics and all this. That was my identity. Remember, that's another thing we can talk about. It's like I was training hard. I was going to the Olympic Training Center. I was trying to learn all these events to do become a decathlete. You know, Nigerian kids, you can't just do one event. You got to do 10 events and try to go to the Olympics. Like that's the mentality you were bred. Like you're taught to be the best at everything. Don't even smile about it. Just go and do it. So I was trying to do that. And when that happened, I actually got to broaden my network and community in that area too. I started meeting these different athletes who are world-class athletes in San Diego because that's where the Olympic Training Center is. And I met a girl, Allison Razor, if you're watching, she's married now. Love y'all. She was one of the people that I met that I was like, okay, well, no matter what happens, this is a great human being. But through her network and also through being in San Diego where the Olympic Training Center is, I started to reach out to people like crazy. I'm the guy that's never met you and you open up your phone and it's like, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I was just looking at your post. Love that. I'm in Bali too. Do you want to meet up on Tuesday? Because that's kind of like, and that's what allowed me more than anything than the network initially in person, but my ability to connect like you do to be able to connect with world-class athletes. Curtis Mitchell, he might be watching this. This guy was third to Usain Bolt at the last World Championship. He's one of the fastest men ever to live. I slid in his DM and was like, "Hey Curtis, what's up? Like, dude, like you seem like you have a lot of traffic to your page. Can we do some like ads for you? And can we like help you sell like your own protein powder? You think you'd be interested in that?" And he said yes. Now I represent him. Brittany Reese is another athlete. She's the top women's long jumper in history. No holds barred. She was supposed to be in the 4th Olympics this year. I represent her as well. I slid into her DMs because I had mutual friends, Allison and other people in San Diego. And I was like, yeah, we can just create a merch line for you. And I feel like your fans in Korea and around the world would love this. And they said yes, because I was genuine, to the point. My heart was on the table, as this is my business. And at the time, 2.5 years ago, I was just really starting this. And they trusted me, thankfully. Thank you guys. And now, one of the things is not just launching their own brands. We're working with major brands. We're working now. We're negotiating a deal with a headphone company that would actually change my life. It'll be very kind of a big deal. And I hate to talk about that stuff like that, but people like that I got to meet because I was myself, and I showed them value and showed them the real person of what my gifts are. And I just want to compliment so we can both win. So that's probably where that comes with, And same thing to talk about that was I also represent. I work with certain coaches here in Bali and around the world to help them get placed in media because of my media connections, which has come from literally DMing and sending video DMs to companies on Instagram. You will not believe. That's the tip of the day. If I gave you one marketing thing today, start sending. Don't do anything crazy. Make sure you get your stuff together. Send video DMs. It personalizes your connection to even a big billion-dollar brand. And they'll say, "Oh yeah. Well, Michelle, the CEO is not here right now, but I can give you her number. You can send her a WhatsApp next week." Like I know that I talked to the CEO of AirAsia. Invited her to the last summit. She couldn't make it. They sent somebody else. Like, anybody's accessible because we're all human beings. I don't care how many billions you have, how much money you have. But you're still gonna get my video DM, or I'm gonna walk up to you at this event and we're gonna have a face-to-face conversation. We got to start looking at each other face to face more and realize that all these titles mean nothing. What are you doing to change and impact the world?
Big time.
Thank you.
No.
Thanks, bro. I just
love it, man. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Woo!
Love it. Woo! Now, one thing came up in what you said. So you said, I hate to talk about this stuff. So what stuff do you hate to talk about, and why do you hate talking about it?
I hate talking about, that's a good question. I hate talking about sort of acting successful or seeing yourself as someone that people should follow because you feel like you earned it. I don't feel like I deserve some sort of like push or acclaim or anything. If people do that, that's great, but I never want to be the one to say it and put myself in a position as if that I'm better than other people. So I think that probably comes from the humble Nigerian kid background of like, don't show Olumide if you have money. Don't show anyone. Don't show anyone. Like my dad called, like that. It's always coming to family because it's important to me, and I miss my family actually in this moment. But it's like parents will call you, or friends and family will call you out about it, and I think that is part of probably. I'm so glad you said it. It's given me some downloads as to why I would feel that way. Wow. Thank you.
No, brother.
Yeah,
my brother. It's good. It's crazy because I get it. And like. In many ways, the same thing with me. I don't want to stand out.
We talk. Everybody sees us, but we're trying to like, hey,
don't fly too high. And all this stuff. And it's like, where did this shit come from?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you have.
I learned something today. Thank you,
man. Like you have a gift. It's real. It's something that can create immense value for people.
Yeah.
Hell, why should we feel that we shouldn't shine bright about it? And again, I'm saying it to you, but I'm saying it to me as well.
Yeah.
Let
me share something about that. We don't want to be here till 12 o'clock, but for this deal that we're currently negotiating and that we're working on for Curtis Mitchell and Brittany Reese. Hey guys, you know about this, so I can talk about it. We have a contract. It's fine. I didn't have the opportunity to do this because it's just something that came. It was something that I was consistently pushing. So many times these brands kept saying no, like, who are you? Like, what? No, we don't want to work with you. Oh, this, you have Olympic athletes, whatever. COVID's hit. We don't have a budget. But I kept going. It was just that one more email and that one more message. So this is something as a lesson or something I just want to share in terms of like having something that's kind of successful or looks like it's going good. It's only happening because damn, like I thought I was like, damn, okay, let me be real. Let me tell you this. Going back to the race thing. I was like, is it because I'm black that these companies don't want to work with me? Like, what the hell? Like every time I see this other influencer marketing guy post, the company's like, yeah, this is good. Like. And when I post, my stuff doesn't get any looks. So part of that got to me, but I kept going. No matter what, your mind will also try to block you and say you're not worthy enough of this. And I realized again, another thing is recently that when I got to the point where I was like, damn it, I'm worthy. I should be in the Deepak Chopra top 11 list. Thank you, Rhonda Swan. Like, I deserve that. Deepak's cool. I never met him. But if they put me at number 11, I dang well should be there because I've been working my butt off to actually make an impact. And I think it should be also seen. And I stay consistent to make sure that I can even have a chance, guys. You know?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Can you bring the white party, P. Diddy, 2021?
Could I bring Diddy
P.
to
Diddy?
Bali?
Yeah. 2021.
Diddy needs a budget, but
Yeah.
if
I worked with him. I launched the rock for
oh, you
years.
launched that?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
You should bring him here.
to Bali.
Yeah.
For what?
The white party.
What party? Just a white party to
Fuck
celebrate
Miami.
and have fun.
Bring them to Miami.
Oh, bring him here.
Bring
Miami here.
Bring Miami here.
I mean, who likes Diddy? If you guys like Diddy and you like that, then we could do that. We could talk about it. I mean, I'm not object to not to doing something like that. It depends, right? Yeah, why not? I think he just really wants to party with me. I feel that vibe with us. Like we would be the guys like, and people would be like, yeah, it's Bali. Why not? We could talk about it. Yeah, that's fun.
Now, you know what? Now, thank you, Paul, for that. You reminded me of something which came up, all right? TikTok. All right, we're going to talk about TikTok because, listen, I'm so late to this party. It's not funny. I remember I was running clubs in Sydney, doing really well.
Yeah.
And I was the last guy on Facebook that everyone used to laugh at me. Go, Rob, you're not on Facebook? I said, no, I'm not on Facebook. I'm not Facebook. I'm not. I had all these justifications of why I was scared. Right? That's really what I was scared to get on Facebook. I had one conversation with a guy called Grant Lewis. Grant, if you're around, love you because he was the guy who changed it around. And he taught me, he allowed me to see that everything I was doing in real life, meeting people, attracting people, connecting people, loving people, I could do via Facebook. And the minute I did that, I reached 5,000 friends in like a week. Right? It was nuts. Now with TikTok, I find the same thing. That there's something that's like pushing me away from it, right? I think it was like my kids. It was my partner Marina goes, buddy, our kids are watching TikTok. So in my mind, I got this thing of like TikTok is for kids, right?
That's what people think.
And then I see you and I see your post saying you got like 100,000 followers on TikTok or whatever it is, which is fucking amazing. Pardon the French. And I'm there going like, man, is this not a Facebook? Am I like missing out again? And then I had some other, I think Robbins or someone like talking about TikTok saying this is the future. So I'm like, you know what? Come on, Rob. Don't be like Facebook again, right? Don't be late to the party. So what I wanted to do is to give me or give us like your view on what TikTok is and why it's important for adults.
Yeah, that's a deep question right there. What a deep question. Wow. TikTok is just the next thing, right? Like everybody's heard of it. Not everybody has an account. And of course, it's because the reason it gets is the thought is like, oh, it's just for kids because you go, who knows the damn? Like, yeah, right? You know, it's what happens with every major platform. The kids and the teenagers get on it first. And then everybody else is like, all right, well, if they're spending time on it and then advertisers are coming on and people are turning into a regular thing and it's taking your time, I'm sure you realize it's taking a lot of your kids' time. You're like, what is the value of it? It's the attention. So the attention now is moving away. There's millions of people that went away from TikTok or from Instagram and went onto TikTok, and Instagram lost a lot of traffic because all these influencers or people who create content were seeing that it was a way to actually get seen. The important thing you have to know about TikTok is it's a way to get seen for free at a very high rate that you don't have on any other platform, because all of the other platforms have now gotten to the point where you have to pay to play. It's pay to participate on every single platform. If you post on TikTok today, you could get 100,000 followers and 50,000 followers overnight. And depending on your niche, and you sound like you have a TikTok. I might have seen you on there, but you should, because let me tell you guys, it's about the attention. the attention's on this platform, and it's such in a new nascent state that if you post something that is valuable, you will find your tribe. So for me, I'm not actually famous on TikTok for entrepreneur marketing content. I'm famous for trying to speak Indonesian and trying to create content around like learning languages. So it's mainly around languages. And what happened was I did marketing stuff. It got 10,000 hits, 20,000 hits. But every time I try to speak Indonesian, I got 300,000 views. I was like, oh, I think I just learned. I'm going to learn Indonesian now. I'm going to learn. So every freaking video is me speaking Indonesian or learning Indonesian and getting better, which is also good for me. But I'll tell you, I'd encourage you, one of the biggest things when it comes to business and marketing that people don't think about is they don't think that there's an audience for them. There's an audience for marketers, coaches, people who are in romance, relationship coaching. What do you guys do? Let me just say, just shout it out. 5 people shout out right now what you do. I'll tell you whether you can do it on TikTok. I'll actually be so quick that I'll tell you exactly how to use TikTok right now to go viral easily. Who's first? Crystal Healing. She can literally, remember TikTok is a format of 15 seconds or 60 seconds. She can literally create a 15-second video of her telling people based on their birthday, if you're born in May, here are the crystals that you should use to heal yourself. You might go 20,000, 30,000 views if you use hashtags, because hashtags actually work on TikTok. Who's next? Import export. That's actually a little bit harder because it's B2B. But if you teach people specific rules, or like, here are the 5 ways to make sure you can import export your products, you can actually find people that are interested in a lot of the trends and the things that are coming up now in TikTok are around online business. Thankfully, yay, we're here. And there's a lot of people showing people how to create brands online, how to do drop shipping, how to create their own brand. So you'll find people through specific hashtags. One more person. That's so easy. Listen, if you go on TikTok and you read somebody's tarot and you put this purple filter that you've probably seen on TikTok and you make it funny, you'll probably go viral. And the thing is about that is that it's not about you trying to sell anything. It's about, if you get 50 to 60,000 women, I'm thinking more than men, 50 to 60,000 women over consistently posting 1 to 2 TikToks every day. When you tell them that, hey, everybody, at the end of your video, you give them a call to action, say, hey, everybody, my new tarot reading service virtually just came out. Click the link in my bio. You know how much traffic you're going to get? Right now, I'm getting 5 million views on TikTok doing silly videos responding to Indonesian teenagers. And they're going to my affiliate website to buy, oh, not this hat, a yellow hat that I'm working with a company to send traffic to their website. It's actually ridiculous. I think you get, I don't know how many clicks we're getting every day. Probably like $300 to $500 clicks to the purchase site. Now all of them are purchasing, but there's intent to purchase, and I'm still working on that side for me because I don't know what these Indonesian kids want to buy from me. Bilang to saya, apakah kamu mau bayar? I don't know. What do they want to buy from me? I don't know yet, but all I know is I'm getting millions of hits and I'm getting so many clicks, but I don't know what they're gonna buy yet because they're like 12 years old and they're telling me to say all these words, but I don't know what they want to buy because I don't know. But the traffic is there. That's what I'll tell you guys.
Wow.
If you don't do anything else, I'd say at least download it and try to create content that's short, to the point, but provides value, and watch other videos. And one of the things that I've coached people on TikTok is, for the first day, you can literally binge watch. It's okay. I'll allow you to binge watch. But binge watch and like and save the content that relates to what you're trying to sell. Don't fall into the trap of watching teenagers go, like, yeah, it's fun, it's cool. Or you have a comedian or you like sports and they keep showing you like the NBA highlights in the funniest way ever, and you're like, wow, that's cool. Don't fall into that. Enjoy that, but make sure you're saving, and because the algorithm is so good as well that when you double tap and like a video, you're going to start seeing similar related videos, and you're going to be stuck in, it could be hell or heaven, but make sure it's heaven because you're clicking on to videos that are related to what you want to sell. So actually, my video still, even though these Indonesian kids are going crazy for me, my video still is always marketing tips and hacks and how to grow brands on my screen, right? So do yourself an audit. If you're seeing like, you know, half naked chicks, it's probably because you keep liking it. I'm just saying, fam. I'm just saying, you know. But if you're saying, you know, things that you want to see as well, but maybe you want to see that. That's your prerogative, whatever. But if you want to see things that actually help you grow in your business and your personal life, start liking those things. And same thing for Instagram, but and TikTok in this case, the traffic is mad. And one thing I was telling Ollie is, I'm working. One of the things we do, we're helping people grow their accounts on Instagram, helping people grow to 100,000 followers, getting them verified, getting them to be authorities, whatever. We're doing it on TikTok now with on my team, and we're seeing here's how good the traffic on TikTok, how crazy the traffic on TikTok is. We have an influencer that we use, and we've had a competition or a giveaway competition to where we can get somebody 400,000 followers in 24 hours. Where the F do you do that? What? This traffic crazy. Like, so that's the kind of stuff that you're like, it's not like something's off. It's that the opportunity is ridiculous if you know what you're doing and you can follow sort of the guide to understand how the platform works. I know a marketer lady, she from California, she's making 10K a month from teaching people about marketing, and then she's sending people to her course because it's a marketing course that people pay between $249 to $349 for. She's selling a few dozen a month, and all she's doing is, all right, guys, when you get on Instagram, make sure when you post that you're using these specific type of hashtags. These are the ones that work for your niche. Okay, this is the way you edit your photos. Simple stuff like that. People are so, if they're on their For You page, which is the page that we all get when you scroll through, it's customized to what people's habits are. So if you keep liking the marketing, it would likely show you my marketing hacks and tips. And if you follow me, and then 6 weeks later, when I make my first offer, you might say, wow, she's been helping me out so much, and she definitely knows what she's talking about. You're going to be likely to make a purchase. And people are making 6 figures on TikTok as business owners. It's not only for kids.
Well, thank you so much. Wow.
Thanks.
Far out. You know, it looks like I'm going to get on TikTok tomorrow. But that's mind-blowing stuff. Really is. Wow. So guys, would you have any more questions? Yeah.
Yes. Sure.
So I actually just met Olu last week. So thank you. I came here because I saw a post on his Instagram. So thank you for that. If I didn't see that, I wouldn't be here. So, okay. I don't know where to start because I feel like your story relates a lot to me. And when we talk about racism, we have racism too in Indonesia, actually. And it's something that has been there, but people know, but people don't really talk, But we save that conversation for later. So my question is, because I just recently got into this journey, as digital nomad or, entrepreneur, like I'm traveling and I work. And it's funny because all of my friends are like, yo, are you on holiday? Are you not working? They're my Indonesian friends, I mean. They're like, I was in Bali, I was in Gili, I was in Jakarta. Like, are you just traveling around? Like, it's Corona? What are you doing, girl, And so they don't know this. They don't know the meaning of doing this, doing work online. So when you mention that, oh, you're going to inspire people to do this digital nomad thing. And I'm like, yo, you talk about foreigners come to Bali doing this, but how about Indonesians? Indonesians don't know. We don't really know what is this, Indonesian have company job and then they go to Bali for 4 days, get back to the city, do everything every day, every year. This thing is pretty new. So I got pumped when you say that because actually we can inspire more people Indonesians to do what I do, what we do, because obviously I'm the only local here, as you can see. There know us. We need more Indonesians to be in Bali or to other places in Indonesia doing remote work, So I think that's gonna be something that you can do or we can do, we'll talk about it later. But yeah, I just arrived in Bali last week, and so I want to ask you, doing this obviously not easy, People see the beautiful things about doing online work, but then behind it is you get lonely. 3 days ago I got very sick, and I just realized, I don't have friends. So what am I gonna do? Call hospital or call who? My mom is not here. How do you stay true to yourself and really believe that you are on the right path? Because even though I'm making money now, but it's the thoughts of me going back to just doing normal work, because all of my friends of my family, because actually I was a lawyer, I'm a lawyer, so I can actually just go back to the law firm to just do the company office work. And then now this is uncertain, right? There are days where I'm making a lot, there are days where I'm not making a lot. So how do you really just have that drive and stay to your passion and really seeing the longer term of what you do?
Those are some deep questions there. Okay,
Great
I
question.
thought it was gonna be easy, Rob. Come on. Yeah, it's tough. I think the first thing, actually, to address the only Indonesian in the room, the goal is with this digital nomad visa and with what Wahyu is working on is he's got something called DIY Academy. I told you I was gonna make the intro. Like DIY Academy is supposed to bring digital skills to Indonesian, primarily now university students because they're more open to it. When you come to a place like Bali, because it's more traditional life, that's one of the barriers to entry that we found is that he's had free English classes and then free programming classes here all over Bali, but people don't show up. The local Indonesian people he's tried to outreach to don't show up. So it's a curve that we have to work with now as maybe they see you succeed, they see other people in the community, they start coming home with iPhone 11 and they talking to like they have different things scheduled and they're on the laptop all the time. They might ask what's going on. And actually there's another lady I met, there's an Indonesian lady, nice lady at it should be called Tribe Theory, at Draper, Tribe Theory, whatever, who is Indonesian, who's now she's telling me all my friends are always like bullying, like, well, why are you on the laptop all the time? What are you doing? Where do you get your money? She's like, let me tell you where I get my money, because she's doing things online and she's not like an expert, but she's starting to make some income online now. So I think there's something coming here with YU and people who are leaders in your community and our community, I believe, as a whole, where we all got to step up and try to help and see how can we do this? How can we extend the hand to people Indonesians so they can learn, yo, you can make the same money in 1 week that you make in, I can say this straight up facts. You can make the same money that you make in 1 month. You can make it 1 week making logos on a website called Fiverr.com. All you got to do is get a VPN, baby, VPN. If you guys don't know what a VPN is, because it's hard because some of these companies, and listen, we're not saying be fraudulent, like there's different things that you can do to hustle as an entrepreneur that maybe people don't know in the community that we can start teaching them. Get a VPN, get on Fiverr, create the logo on Canva.com for free, sell it for $20 to somebody in Los Angeles or in Spain or Morocco or Nigeria, and now you make $20 where it might take you an entire week to make $20. Let's be real. And that's one of the things that I've been so passionate about too, that I've been waiting on. I'm not going to stand out here and like without the resource and the ammo. I need the ammo, Robert. I need all the people. So because the only way we're going to make an impact is if it's done right. That's why I've never tried to stand out here and do a course for locals. First of all, because I didn't have a business visa at the time. You can't even teach anything or volunteer, right? So there's things that we're putting in place now, and I believe it's such a crucial year to set the foundation. I'm glad I met you and YU and other people, because we're going to do something special where you're not going to have to work, 7 days a week from 7 to 7 if you're Indonesian. You can hustle online and come chill, and we at the beach too. Grab a bintang. You gave it to us. Thank you. It's going to be a different life. I really believe it from now moving to the next year. And then to answer your question, it's hard. Even when, I remember when I moved to Bali, it was because I had gotten I was struggling in Germany. It was tough. And I was like, let me leave Germany and Europe and go to Mexico for a little bit. And then I got my first 3 high ticket clients. And I was like, yeah. But then I was scared because I was like, what if you lose your clients when you get to Bali? And I did lose my clients. I lost all of them in that depressive 2 to 3 months when I first got to Bali. In the same time I was dealing with those things, I lost all my 3 clients. And I could have packed it up and, Mommy, I'm coming home. No, you got to keep going. But you have to figure out, what is it that makes you successful? What is the consistent thing that got you that result? And for me, it was always about getting leads and getting in front of people, video DMs. See my face, you're not going to say no. If I keep making this video that tells you that I'm really good at helping grow your Instagram, you're going to come to me eventually. I don't care if it's now. It better be in 2 weeks, because actually I got to pay rent. But consistency in following what works. The days that you were getting actual results, the days I was getting clients or people knocking on my door, I was like, yeah, bro, I'm in Netherlands, my gym's shutting down. You got to help me find some online hustle. They came to me because they had seen the consistency. Always be consistent in the things that you're gifted or skilled at, and keep going at it. And then you'll have the money come in because you know that you'll be able to do it and replicate that success. Don't try to do something that's failed 5 times. I know my dad always, shout out to Dad. Okay, you gave me this one. He was like, what is the name that you give to somebody? There's something about madness. There's someone who tries something and gets the same result doing the same thing. Madness. Don't be mad. Switch, pivot. Don't be afraid Like it broke my heart to cancel the summit, but guess what? I had to cancel the summit, or people wouldn't be either show up, or people might get sick, or something bad might happen. And I worked so freaking hard for that, man. Like we put money. Like there's some stuff that got to me that I was like, dang, like this sucks. But I'm keeping it going, and we got this new platform coming, Globoversity, that's I believe is really gonna make an impact. Got a lot of good eyes on it, and people who are supporting the efforts, even behind the scenes. I'm so grateful. Keep going, but replicate the things that work. People stop stressing about things that don't work. You can't control certain things, right? My brother in the back. If you can't control it, keep moving. Inshallah, like whatever that, man, God bless, inshallah, shukran, whatever, man, whatever you're from, God bless you. Yes, anything that gets you moving forward, push there. Anything that takes you back and you keep failing at it, don't do it.
And you know what? Thank you. What I love about what you're saying is that, so before I said to Olumide, I said before, right, that he's an ambassador, he's a light worker. It's the same with you, right? So what I think you don't see right now, what I see very, very clearly is that you're a person, getting goosebumps now, you're a person who can bridge the gap between Indonesian
She got an American
speaking
accent. I was like, girl, where you from, Detroit, girl?
speaking.
She's like, no, I'm Indonesian.
Yeah. You can bridge the gap because, like, okay, so we're talking about English speaking, that's great, but you've got that down pat. You're extremely clear and you're able to communicate and express yourself, right? Do not underestimate the power of being able to express yourself in whichever language or whichever form it is. And you've got that, right? So me too. You got it. It's like a Venn diagram, right? So you draw a circle and you say, that's you. I draw another circle and I say, that's me. And where those two intersect, that area there is common to both. And you're in that middle. He's in that middle. I'm in that middle. Many people here are in that middle. So we can communicate with both.
Yeah.
Right? That's who you are. But it's more than two, actually. It's many, many, many. But I'm giving you the example. So you draw a circle, that's you. You draw another circle which overlaps it. And where those two are common to both, that's where you sit. So you can communicate with both. It's a really powerful place to be. So you are the change that you want to see. You. Yeah. Yeah. You are.
Woo!
You are.
I concur.
Power to you, girl. Power to you. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. Has anyone got a question? Brother Chris, absolutely. I love you. I was waiting for you, man. Wait for the microphone to arrive.
It's been wonderful. Thank you. Great insights. Thanks for being so vulnerable there. Some really great insights. I'm interested if you were ever drawn back to Nigeria in the journey. Have you spent time there? Do you still have a calling to go back? Because obviously there's amazing opportunities in Nigeria emerging rapidly. Yep. And I'm just interested to see if that's in the plan.
Absolutely. I think, here's another story. My name, till I was like that before that awakening point, my name was Michael. Everybody, that's my middle name. So when you go to Western society, even my parents call me Michael. Michael, come here. Where you go? You go to practice? Michael, my uncle Michael. My uncle is so Nigerian. I love you, bro. Like he's like, Michael, Olumide, Michael, how are you? So they used to call me by my, what do we call in Nigeria, Christian name, or your middle name is the English name. And for so long I held on to that identity, but deep down inside, something felt weird or wrong about it. I always didn't associate it was almost like something someone placed in you. When you get to England or certain countries, you have to fall into that English speaking society. So when I turned 24 or 25, whenever, like I had that sort of mental sort of understanding of who I was, I changed my name to Olumide. My king has arrived. That's my name. Straight up from my Yoruba tribe. My king has arrived. Yes. And I knew, let's go. I don't know why I did the Jamaican thing. But and when I did that, I also realized the desire inside was always to go back, to make an impact, and even to live in Nigeria, for goodness sakes, because we hear these things about these countries in Africa and even parts of Southeast Asia or even in Europe and some parts of Eastern Europe. It's unlivable. It's dangerous. There's obviously some true things to back that up. But the truth is, though, that Nigeria is a beautiful place, and a place that has literally been in my heart since I was a kid. and all the other, like, even in British culture, yeah, there's Nigerian, British. You're right, Oluwa, like you got Oluwafemi, what's up, blood? Oluwafemi, like there's like Oluwafemi, what's up, blood? They're so British, and like this Jamaican South Patois non-Nigerian kid that the Oluwafemi name says they should be, that they don't speak the language. And this is not a hate on my Nigerian brothers and cousins, but I always felt like I somehow I retained Yoruba, Mogo Yoruba, Dada. Like I speak Yoruba in my head, and like when I speak with my, God bless my grandparents who passed away recently, but I connect so much that that's such me that I felt like when I saw other Nigerian kids in England, if they were born there or in Nigeria, they were totally different than me. And then maybe it's because I left when I was 12 or 13, so your brain is still sort of functioning in that way to connect to the root. And no, actually, I left Nigeria when I was 6, but in some ways I still had this connection. So sorry for the long-winded answer, but the last thing that I want to finish that off is, but I'm not gonna go now. I ain't got no money for Nigeria. Do you know how much it costs to live there? Like to keep the electricity on? Do you know like how much connections you have to have just to walk in the airport and not be like to deal with certain things, you know, when you get to the airport? Like I gotta get my stuff right. Nigeria is the final chapter. Like I'm not going there now. So it's a good question. Like when things are like popping, then we go to Nigeria to say this is what's going to happen today. You know, that's the vision for Nigeria. Not to have some selfish or sort of like cultural, oh my gosh, I have to be a true Nigerian and go back because I was born there. It's that I got to get my straight if I'm going to actually make an impact on this world, and I'm just sitting here treading and making the right connections, making the right moves, respecting cultures, and moving in my way right now. So when it's time to go make that legacy, it's on. That's a true account of what I'm going to say. Yeah.
Respect.
Thank you, Rob.
Respect, brother. Great question, Chris. And look, so we're going to, in a minute, I'm going to ask you to say whatever comes up, but something closing, right? Closing. But I'll give you some time. Sure. So a few things I want to say. So firstly, in the children's home, I grew up with lots of different people over the years. One was a Nigerian guy called Gary Lee, but his real name was Bandele Odofuelo.
Hey.
Right? Bandele Odofuelo. Right? That was one. There was another guy, a great DJ called Oshunlade. Oshunlade, an incredible DJ that some people will know. Another guy, and I've got lots of Nigerians around me growing up, fearsome, powerful, strong people. And when you look at the history of Africa, that's another story. Now, why I bring Africa up is Brother Chris, who just asked a question, I'm going to call him out. Chris is from South Africa originally, and he sold his first company. I'm going to put you out. He sold his first company to Iron Man. That became the global Iron Man. He started it.
Iron Man.
Iron Man. Correct.
Yeah.
And then he was a Singapore Marathon race director for many, many years. That's like, was it 60,000 runners and 1,500 cyclists? Something like that. Chris responsible.
Exposed.
All right, exposed. And now he's got a company called Mass Participation World, which is the backbone to the mass participation industry around the world, right? And what I love about him is that when this whole thing went down, obviously mass participation events stopped the minute COVID started, is that he said, you know, surrender to serve. He surrendered to serve and created this platform online where 200 to 500 leaders from around the world would get on a Zoom call with him. He did like 5 Zoom calls a week for like months, right? Working himself to the bone to surrender, to serve, and now he's in a very different position, but I love him dearly. Chris Robb, Double B, I'm calling you out because you're coming back on here for the 3rd time pretty soon, right? For the 3rd time pretty soon. So I just want to connect that story together. Now, for those of you watching, so this is SpeakuP Monday. This is what it's about, right? It's a platform for just asking questions. It comes from me. It comes from you. Like it's not scripted. I love it. We tune into the energy of whatever there is, right? And it comes off inspirational most of the time. And if you want to be on the show, just hit me up via personal message, private message, however you get to me. I know you can find a way, get to me. That's one thing. The second thing is that share this, guys. So if you feel or have been moved or have resonated with anything that's happened here tonight, share it. Share it online, offline, share it to your friends. Share it however you want to, wherever you want to. Be my blessing. I appreciate that very, very much. Now, next week, we have a beautiful woman, Denise Renau. Beautiful girl, Hollywood, actress, singer, and then she kind of gave all that up and then came into Bali, became an influencer, has got an amazing blog, which is, I won't tell you the name, I'll put it online, but Denise Renau, you know her, right, because she's in here in Bali, beautiful woman, can't wait to have her here and hear some of her story. right? She's a beautiful woman. Okay, so that's what's coming up. Ollie's going to be on not far. Ollie Node, I think that's going to be in October, right? So we're going to see him in October. There's some of you here, Tyler, you're going to be on soon, and there's a few more that I can see around that are going to be on here. So guys, before I hand it back, all right, to my brother from a different mother and father, but actually not, I just want to thank you. So remember,
Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, you can come here, watch us live, right? I visualize and envision, we've got maybe 20 people here tonight, whatever it is, I can envision even more than that actually. I can envision the whole of Tropical Nomad outdoor area with 80 to 100 people or more watching this, right? And being inspired by it and being moved by it. And that's really what the whole thing is about. It's about unity and being moved to take action in our own lives, however that shows up for us, right? That's what this whole thing is really about. So thank you to the audience who have come here tonight.
Thank you guys
Lots
so
of love.
much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
A bit of a round of applause. Yeah. Thank you to Itchy and Bella, who every week deliver. And now we're outside.
Woo!
We're outside in the garden. Thank you so much. And big love to my brother, Olumide.
Yes. Thank you,
Olumide.
Rob,
Round of
man.
applause to Olumide. Love it, man.
Thank you guys.
All right. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to go with some closing words to my brother over here. Then after that, we're going to wrap it up. By the way, Tropical Nomad is open 24 hours. If you're interested, we've got a few gifts for those who came in person. So if you want to have those gifts, Itchy and Bella over there can tell you more about it. I suggest if you want to come back here, go and see Itchy and Bella. Hint, hint, say no more. Right? Thank you. And in the meantime, next week, remember, 7 o'clock we're here. But come earlier. Come at like 6:30, 6:45, right? Don't come here at 7 o'clock on the dot. Come here earlier, right? Love you guys for coming. So that's, thanks, Paulie.
Thanks again.
All right, so let's push over to Olumide, who's going to close us out. Tropical Nomad is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you don't have to go anywhere, just so you know, 24 hours, but don't stay for 24 hours. Okay, brother, over to you, my man.
Tropical Nomad is open 24/7. Ichi, when is there going to be co-living? You got to get the co-living thing going. Then they can just live here and they don't have to leave.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Okay. Yeah, that probably is. Okay. I just want to say thank you to Robert for the opportunity, because I in a lot of ways, just of the things that we talked about, I've shied away from being in front of the camera for those reasons, and knowing that also camera likes me, or people for some reason love me talking, and I'm like, I don't want to talk, but then I talk and people are like, oh wow, and I'm like, there must be something freaking there. So I would highly say to everybody here that first of all, thank you, for showing up and being here. And the biggest thing I'd say is the community thing is just like, that's how we survive. I'm literally just repeating things about how humanity works, and how all of our platforms are based on having a safe place to call home. And as much as I've been vulnerable today, I mean, I'm not saying go tell all your secrets to the world. Like you're at the gas station, like, yo, hey, there's something that I want to tell you. My dog died when I was 7 years old, and like, I didn't say that, but I think we all, because we have this thing in Bali, this bubble, which in a way, an ability to connect more easily than this noise in the West. I think everybody should try their best to try to find a community. I think we do literally belong to a community. That's the way you survive. To find a community that you can make an impact on. If you love dogs, go work with the dog people. I don't know, Bali dog thing, like, go find a place where you feel home, but make sure that you're doing it to raise people up, not for your own selfish sort of determination or aspiration. Everything I'm doing now, I'm doing my best. I have to check myself, like, don't get your head too big. Like, I want to make sure that people actually get value from me, and this is actually going to make an impact. And I want to just encourage you guys, if that's the last thing I say, is to find that and give. Find somewhere you like Robert. Like, I'm just like, dude, like, what is he doing? Like, this dude, thank you. Like, give him a hand, please. Like, what, bro? Like, you don't have to do any of this, but you're such a great giver, and you're getting blessed up on it, because all of a sudden people are finding ways to give back to you if they can, but you're not doing it for that. So if we can find a way that we can do that in our own lives from our hearts, I think it's going to make a big impact from the people that we have proximity to, whether it's family back home or wherever you are in the world. So thank you for the opportunity again. I'll never forget today, because we got so like real. Like, I didn't know I'd say certain things, but I did, and I'm glad I did. I feel connected to everybody here because of it, and I'm welcoming you guys. I'm gonna get some water. Anyone wants to say hello, I'd love to just look at you face to face too, without these lights. So thank you again, everybody, and thank you, Ichi, because you're allowing this to happen where all other places aren't necessarily doing things like this. So thank you so much for doing this as well and allowing me. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man, and just thanks, big time, Ichi, and collaboration. And even though I said Olumide we finish, I feel compelled. It's coming in. I want to thank Marina. If you're watching, Marina is my partner, and our kids. She gives me the, like the support to actually do this because I'm spending time away from my family to come and do this. I love her very much, and our kids very much as well. So thank you for that, really. And the second thing is that now, so like, there's a big thing that we went to tonight. This whole equality issue, not issue, but just initiative, whatever you want to call it. Now, if anybody watching this wants us to go deeper into this, Gavin Dante is out there, right? And Gavin, we need to do this. He's watching, right? He's not here. Right? Gavin, we need to do this, right? You know what I'm talking about. We need to do this because...
Yeah, I saw your post, bro. I got some stuff to say to you, and I'm being real about that, too. I got some stuff to say, too, Gavin, in a loving way, and in a good way, because I think these things have to be talked about. That got me back up to 100. Let me go back down.
Yeah, right? So Gavin, reach out. And if you guys here want to see something, either reach out to us personally or put it on the post if you want to see more about this thing that we touched upon tonight, right? It's important that it's spoken about, and it's remember, it's all about unity, but to get there, sometimes you need to talk about some stuff that's a bit personal and close to home. We're prepared to do it and would love you to let us know if that's what you want to hear. All right, guys. Thank you so much to everybody. Olumide, thanks for being honest, open, and everybody, thank you for coming. We'll wrap it up there till next week. Thank you. Respect.
It's global.
I need a hug. Thank you, man.